This video is for the California GOP, for the MAGA party, and the better half of the United States of America. Or shall I say 75%. Now, most of you know I'm a resident in the Los Angeles, California region. I would like to go to college in peace, and I'm just there for educational purposes only. And I understand that where I'm at, if you've been watching the news as of February the 3rd, 2025. There's a lot of people that's proud of the national flag from their former country. And I wonder how racist they can be of an American citizen that's just trying to go to college in peace. Because from my previous experience, just the color of my skin, it offends certain people, especially if I'm wearing a MAGA hat. Because last time they had a group of people surround me, accusing me of being racist, and yet the group of people that was accused me of being racist were all the same skin color, speaking the same foreign language, and they only spoke in English for me to understand what they're saying. It just boggles my mind. Anyways, I'm gonna do the best I can to have my camera ready in case of emergency. I want to be able to record everything on camera so I can show American citizens of the United States of America how fun these illegals that's trying to be American citizens, how friendly they really are. Because in their culture, they believe in diversity. They believe in, sharing their business spaces with other people. They're very proud of their culture and identity. And they like to cause problems with other people that don't conform to their culture and their ways. And if they believe in criminality, they just they don't want to be documented because the moment they become documented, according to our laws and customs, if you're an American citizen, if you commit a crime on American soil, you're prosecuted. There's no excuse. But since they're undocumented, they're allowed to do whatever they want on American soil. They're not prosecuted. They've returned to sanctuary cities, and the ironic part is, American citizens has to pay for the housing, the free government amenities, just so much financial assistance to the illegals, and yet American citizens are not entitled to the same benefits. It's almost like racism itself because you're favoring one race over the others instead of a real democracy. You divide everything equally amongst races. That's what I thought it used to be. But I guess in the game of Uno, only one color wins. And it's proven to be pretty destructive to this country. Looking at the protests that happened yesterday, and it's just imagine if there would have been a war, if you would have had a group of American citizens with the national flag. I wonder if these people would have felt offended. Would they feel American or would they feel foreign? I suppose only time can answer that question because some need to be shown the way out. And they think that the state police, because their family works in law enforcement, was going to protect them. And that's one of the reasons why we have a country. The United States of America has agreed on one thing, that we do have to establish law and order. And if these people are flashing a foreign flag on American soil, they're not proven to be American citizens. We got to kind of remind them that if your country loves you so well, well, they should be able to pay for you. They should be able to do all the things that you're so proud of. Let your own country pay for everything for you, provide free housing, education, free money. I mean, they're flashing their national flag on American soil. And I wonder what would happen if Americans did that in that country. Would they feel offended? And yet they think they have the right to do it in our country. They're accusing us of being weak. They're accusing us of not defending our own country. So they have this entitlement, like everything we have worked for, everything we have built, all the American citizens that have contributed so much to this country, that everything is theirs. Quite disrespectful. So that's one of the reasons why we have to prevent wars from happening. So it's better safe than sorry. These illegals that don't like our country, they don't like the United States of America, and politically speaking, they only claim to be American citizens right before ICE deports them. Because, see, when they're with their own community, they hate America with a passion. And since they're undocumented, since they don't claim to be American citizens, they don't believe they have to follow the laws. So they think that because they're so proud of their culture, that they have legal immunity from our customs and laws. And they only claim to be American citizens to reap the benefits, but they don't want to live up to the culture, the traditions, or the standards and expectations of American citizen. They're quite proud of their country, and it shows that they're still loyal to their country to this day when they keep flashing their foreign flag. So I hope the United States of America is taking note, because some of us, I made my colors wide, like loud and clear. I'm for the United States of America, and I want my country to remember this. You see my national flag behind me? You see it right there by the Holy Cross? May God bless it. Because these people, they wage war on this country, and they fail to understand that if you're an American citizen, you have to follow the law. You're supposed to be law abiding. The problem is they've been getting away with their crimes for a long time. And since they've been running things, they, because of their skin color and their pride, they're allowed to commit crimes. And they play the racism card. And the moment that you prosecute the law underneath them, they you take away their security from them. They have this entitlement because they're allowed to do crimes and get away with it. And the country needs to know exactly what's going on. And I'm just saying it how it is because I never waged war on my own country. These people did. And it would be nice to have an army behind me. I know better to do it on my own. But there's a lot of people that don't like this country. And when they flash that foreign flag on American soil, I want my country to really think about the problems we've been having with all the crimes, the graffiti, the cultural wars, the stealing from your neighbors, the gangs, the violence, picking on innocent American citizens, the racism. I wonder where all it all stems from. I just have to really think hard about this. I try to be a nice neighbor. I try to be law abiding. But, sometimes people take advantage of my kindness for weakness and they look at my skin color like I'm inferior, like I'm outnumbered, and they look at my flag like it's just a costume. So you have to understand that I have to use my brain and I'm just pursuing my education so that way I can be reunited with my family, with my country. It would be very nice that I could be protected in my own country. I can go any state in this country and be well grounded in my American culture and national identity and be happy and safe. I think that's one of the reasons why we have a US Constitution and why the federal government is above state law. Because, see, when you have states like this that refuse to conform to the United States of America, they just wage war on the federal government. And I just want my own people to know that I'm just patiently waiting until I get done with my education. I'm on the path of education, and I might be able to solve the migrant crisis. There might be a diplomatic solution to the problem, but the way things are going is all the disrespect that I see, all the crimes that's being committed, all this stuff that the bad migrants are doing. It's just nice to see that these people will protect criminals and they prove their allegiance. And I just want all my countrymen to see this. I want them to see what's being. This is the problem we've been having, and you can understand why it's important to make sure we don't have allow these things to happen. And that's why we have to be tough on crime. That's the reason why we have to establish law and order. Because when you have the wrong people get ahead, or when they start doing illegal stuff, when you allow them to establish criminal organizations to have gangsters running everything, it really makes our people bad. It makes them push into poverty. There's no law and order. There's no justice for the American people. You just allow the criminals, the gangs to run your own state, your own cities. It's very sad. So when these people want to play the racism card, well, that's exactly what the problem is. Those kind of people don't know how to separate themselves from the good from the bad. You see them as one big family, and there's a problem with that. They support that kind of negative stuff with the whole gang culture, the ghetto culture, and they need to understand that the United States of America, that's not what we are. No, we don't stand for that. This is where all the crimes and all the stuff is coming from. The graffiti and all this stuff. And in this country, we want a peaceful country. You have to lock up these criminals. They have to be out of here. And if there's good ones out from there, let the country decide. I leave my best judgment on President Donald Trump because, I mean, if they really are good migrants, they should be proud of our national flag. They should be law abiding citizens. They should be documented because if they commit a crime on American soil, they need to go to jail. There's no being released as sanctuary cities. They keep crying racist. No, 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 no. You're not above the law. You break the law, you go to jail. You're not going to be protected no more in your little sanctuary cities. The United States of America got fed up with it. They've been hiding this for a long time. They've been paying off these politicians to protect them. And the reason why the politicians have been protecting them is because they were making a lot of money, doing a lot of crimes, and they've been doing so much crimes, they just thought all of it was normal because they've been doing it for so long. And they're afraid that when the federal government gets involved, that the state authority is going to have to change their attitude and their customs and everything, and they got to do their job. They're going to have to, and that's the thing. There's so many of their people locked up. It really makes them ashamed of themselves because they got no one to blame but themselves. They can't blame it on racism. And they were able to get away with it because they had their people in law enforcement to allow them to do this stuff. And people are starting to wake up and like, yeah. So as you can see, there's a bigger problem to this migrant crisis. It's not that we're forsaking cheap laborers. There's because like I said before, anyone can claim to be the hardest worker if they know that it will prevent them from going to jail and prison when they're supposed to be in jail and prison. And if you ask any inmate in jail and prison if they're the hardest worker, I'm pretty sure everybody will say they're the hardest worker if it would guarantee their freedom. So that's the thing. These people are hard workers because they're supposed to be in jail for the crimes they committed, but they're not being prosecuted for the crimes they committed because they have legal immunity from what they did with the politicians in their sanctuary cities. They're undocumented. They don't they're not subject to the same laws as an American citizen. And they come around here and act so superior because they know they can get away with it. They can use their gangs and bully and threaten American citizens. They can do all this stuff. And America is fed up with it. You have to understand. I'm not saying they're all like that. That's not the point. The point is that they're all protecting those bad people. And that's the problem. That's why they made us into a cultural or racial war. Because their problem is they don't know how to separate the good from the bad. That's the problem with those people. That's why they always have bad habits because they don't know how to separate the good from the bad. It makes the good ones look bad. And they try to all stick together as one big family. But if the people that you're protecting are bad people, it makes you bad as well. These people don't get it. And when they're flashing their national flag, just really think about where their allegiance lies. Really think about what they really think about our country. Really think about that. And I want you to look at the businesses. Do you think they'll allow any kind of person of color to run their business? I don't like to say particular color groups, but I think you can put pieces together. You only see one illegal race controlling everything. That's not a diversity. Isn't this supposed to be inclusion? Isn't this supposed to be the state of you know, people supposed to be equal? I don't see no equality. If I'm one of the few white college students at that college, there's something wrong. Where's the inclusion? Where's the equality? I wish I'd had a brand new car like every illegal immigrant that goes to college. It's unbelievable. And these people have the nerve to press charges against me in the child support system. And if I would have financial assistance like these illegals, it would be nice for the 7 years of unemployment as a truck driver, for not receiving no COVID-19 relief, losing a job and a career, for refusing the vaccination. It would be nice if the state of California would give me some form of compensation for the damage they done to me. But they're too busy paying off illegals for their housing, their lawyer fees, their protection, their food stamps, government amenities, free transportation, free health insurance, so much free stuff that they give these migrants. I would be thankful if I had any kind of form of compensation for being an American citizen. It would be very nice. And the only language I know is the one I speak in my own country. And sometimes I think it's kind of weird when I get surrounded by a bunch of people speaking in a foreign language. And I think to myself, am I in the United States of America? Or am I on an island apart from the United States of America? It's so weird, you know? I'm about to wrap up this video, but I want the California GOP to know that I receive your text messages and emails all the time. I would love to donate more money to you so it can help change California into a red state, so I can have a U.S. representative or a U.S. senator that puts America first. I would be very grateful because when I have any kind of problems, I would love to speak to a U.S. senator or U.S. representative that puts American citizens first. And my needs are just as important as an illegal immigrant. I mean, even with all the federal agency, all the stuff going on, they still have more rights than American citizen. You seen the protests today? Did you see that many of them, just the lots of them, so proud of their national flag? They're so proud of protecting criminals, and they made this a racial war. And when they don't want to admit that we have to do things by the law, and they're going to have to clean up their act. We don't want the graffiti. We want the gangs, the drugs, the violence. That's the only way to clean it up. See, they don't want that change because they've been doing this for a long time. And when you have to throw the book at them, see, they act like they were the superior for a long time. They were very proud. Trust me, they did a lot of problems to people. There was a lot of people that had to suffer because of them. And you can see the real bullies, the really people that don't believe in, they look how they are in their protests. Just look at what they do. You're not seeing the whole thing because they know they're being recorded on camera. But if you're actually here, they're very racist. These people, they don't love this country. And we cannot allow these people to be here because they try to establish their criminal organizations, their gangs, and they try to really establish supremacy. But I mean, that's what we have to deal with in the United States of America. Some of you look at it like, well, they're willing to do minimum wage jobs. You need to open your eyes. You don't know the whole story behind that. You have no idea. You see how they have it locked down. You see what happens. See, just imagine this. There's a reason why people don't feel welcomed in their community, why they don't go around them, why they don't associate with them. You have to really think about that. Is there diversity? No, there's no diversity. Look at them. Look who's there with them. Look at what they're doing. Just And the only thing that these Democrats in California care about is the money. They don't care if you do it illegally. That's why they look the other way, because as long as you pay the rent, as long as they can stuff so many people in a household and make that's why they're getting away with it. And now that they have to open their hand, you see what they're really doing. These Democrats been doing this for a long time. They're able to raise the cost of living, and some people are really not blind to do it. They keep paying that outrageous cost of living, and they allow them to just look the other way. And you can just do anything illegal as long as you pay the money. And they know that if you're a real American citizen, you're law abiding. And those are the people getting pushed into poverty while they empower these people that's willing to break the law, and they've been doing it for a long time. Like work permits, business permits, doing things the legal way, making American businesses go out of business because they're able to sell their products way cheaper. They don't have to pay no business tax. They can do things illegally. That's how they were getting ahead. And they hate to admit when you have to play by the law, when you have to play by the rules. They hate it because they're not used to it. They've been doing this stuff for a long time, and that's why they're so angry. They don't want to conform to American culture. They don't love the United States of America. It really offends them. You see where the loyalty lies. I'm done. I'm going in circles.